Hi, welcome back. So we are now to discuss the implementation of lab number 3. As I've mentioned earlier before, if you have already taken the first material of the first book, Research from the Start to the End, you must be familiar with the entire project that we have done lab 1 and lab 2 on it. But if not, give you a quick review on what we actually have accomplished. We assumed we got the participant or the student to investigate reasons why he or she is dropping out a lifelong training program. Based on our research, we have identified two set of variables, if you will. The first one, we call it a demographic kind of variable. The second one, we call it an affecting variable. So we were hoping for coming up with a vector, or we've got like x1, x2 variables, that a subset of these variables belong to the demographic and the other subset of variables belong to the affecting variables. That was the idea. In addition, we brought two more factors to investigate, and that's a factor of the trainer himself, the one who is delivering the course, and the subject. So for the trainer, we also designed actually another instrument to capture certain characteristic about background of the teacher, etc. And also we created sort of a vector for the trainer, and another vector also we created for the subject. So to deal up with these two foreign vectors, we decided some mathematical techniques by collapsing the entire vector of this trainer into single number. Same thing we could do with the subject. Because we will have a 92 different subjects, these 92 actually were divided into 4 different groups. So each group, some 23 participants, all of them will be having the same subject. So the number of subjects will be similar for all of them. But we have 2 different trainers. Actually, we have trainer A and trainer B. So you could have 2 possible numbers like that because you have 2 trainers. So you could have like 46 of these will have one number of a teacher, and another 46 student will have another number. So this is the like a kind of a design you're looking at. So at the end, what we hope for to have this x1 all the way to xm number of subject. We will have 92 subject of them. These 92, this is their actual distribution. How we now, considering that subset of these variables are demographic variables, subset of these variables are affecting variables, 2 scores, one belong to the teacher and one belong to the subject score. So all of them will have the same subject score actually, because in the design we didn't have a chance to investigate one more group, like 2 or 3 different subjects. So you can span the research if you like, but I'm just trying to make things as simple as possible. And once you are done, now this data set is really off to go for analysis. But the point is, we have left one important last variable to measure, and that is the status, whether this subject had dropped out or not. So basically in our design, we have like 11 weeks. We have collected all this in 0 weeks in the first week, and then we've come back after 11 weeks and we asked the administration whether this subject had dropped out or not, and then we recorded. So that was the entire data set. So we expect at the end to have this data set for the analysis. Now, these are the actual variables I brought to you here. I excluded the trainer and the subject from this data set, but the idea is in there. I hope it's quite clear to you. It isn't something quite different from what we're going to do. So I have left only the demographic for investigation and the affecting variables. So in the demographic variable, we have the gender, and in the code instruction, the gender have female or male. Then we have the age, it's in a year. Then we get number of previous vocational training the subject had received. So, and you've got like 3 different scales. 1 means he didn't, 2 means at least 1, 3 means quite some. Then here's the point, like these, consider them a sample of our demographic variable. And then we've got this list of affecting variable. We measured the level of anxiety, stress, motivation, the aptitude, planability about the subject. Be careful, we're talking about the subject, right? Not planning in general of characteristic. The expectation, the excitement, level of excitement about the training itself, and the level of comfortability. To capture the anxiety, we decided to ask 6 statements. Ordinal Likert scale from 1 to 7. Then you've got the level of stress. We've got 7 statements, and again on scale from 1 to 5. Finally, as this instrument was administered to the subject, we've come back after 11 weeks and then we recorded also the status of that subject. We want to collapse these statements of anxiety into a single number. So we need to do some computation on these 6 statements. So basically what we will have, for example, on the total of anxiety, we need to reverse those items, item 1, 3, and 5. And then you've got a range between 6 and 42. So you have to check this. You have to understand the code book before you work on the details of the dataset. And we're going to do some data preparation step, and that's the pillar 1, if you remember. So we're going to prepare the dataset. So let's go ahead and import the first essential dataset to Jamovi. I'll see you then.